All right, hello everybody. I decided to do something different today. Um, it's not what I usually do. This is a freaking awesome website. It's called AI Dungeon, and what it does, it's an AI that, along with your input, generates a story randomly, or supposedly randomly. So I'm going to do a new story, and I'm just looking through what I can do. Worlds, maybe. Or, I don't know what multiplayer is. I'll just do worlds. So I used to have this on Android, but the recent update made the app not work, so I just go onto the website here. I think the currency scales. Yeah, the currency scales. So you can get free scales if you log in. Hang on, let me go back. Every day apparently. See, I logged in. I got 15 scales. You can get different scales, unlock different stories. It's pretty cool. So I'll go back to worlds, and I don't have 15 scales. So 500 scales. So we're just going to go to one of the free ones. I've done this one before. This is like a kind of like Skyrim-ish. Winter Bloom. That one looks cool. Sethius. That looks cool. Oh, sci-fi. So what story should... That looks cool. Guantelet. Guantelet? I don't know. I'm trying to sound that out. So apparently it looks like the only free ones we can get. Oh, they're zombies. Okay. So the only free ones we can get is the one I did before. And Winter Bloom. And Kringle. Just trying to decide. Go with Dark. Yeah, we'll just go with the one I went with before. Okay. Kira is a world of dragons, demons, and monsters. These dark creatures consistently war for control of the land, leaving the few human kingdoms in the shadows of a dark and powerful force. But now the kingdoms of man are fighting back, slowly assembling an army to reclaim their world. So we'll do a create character. Character's name. What can we be? Character's name can be Gronk. He can be male, and he can be a lizard man. The lizard men are a mysterious race which have only recently emerged into the light, having been long forgotten within the tropical realms of Kedar. As the darkness has begun spreading, the lizard men have begun to want to venture outside their fortress and help their allies reclaim the world from the darkness that has long overspread it. And we can be a trapper, bard, warden, ranger, mage, paladin, or sorcerer. I might be a sorcerer. For centuries, sorcerers have been the most powerful of the monsters of Kedar. Their powers flow from the sorry, I can't read. The ruinous energies that cause Kedar to be such a dark and dangerous place. They are monsters of the elements and the demons that inhabit the world. Ooh. So, starting location, we might go with Agadori. That sounds pretty cool. Agadori is a small kingdom on the outskirts of Kedar. It has always been on the border of the Great Realms and are constantly battling the forces of Kedar in hopes of being reunited with their brothers in arms. Aragdori is the land of fire and blood, a long and mining country with a great sorry, with the greedy kingdom who rules by fear and greed. Location. We might go with this one. Kostas, it's easy to say. Kostas is a small mining town in the southern mountains of Aradori. I gotta get that name down. Recently, the armories of Aradori have begun working on an iron mine near to the town. The town prospers from its position in the trade route from the kingdoms of Tantum. World events on. I don't know what that is. Start game. So what it'll do is it'll generate like a little blurb, and then we just work from that, and it's just apparently randomly generated. So we'll just see. It's thinking. World event. The Emperor of Kedar's daughter has gone missing. It is whispered that the king of Aradori kidnapped her in hopes to marry her to expand his land. Okay. The Emperor of Kedar's daughter. Okay. Kedar is a world of dragons, demons, and monsters. Oh, hang on. I got a text thing too. This is much easier. I'll just do this when it loads.
Kedar is a world of dragons, demons, and monsters. These dark creatures constantly war for control of the land, leaving the few human kingdoms in the shadow of a dark and powerful force. But now, the kingdoms of man are fighting back, slowly assembling an army to reclaim their world. You're Gronk, a male lizardman sorcerer in the town of Kostas. You live in the shadow of the great mountain and work in the iron mine nearby. You have recently heard rumours of the armies of Agadori amassing nearby in preparation for a battle and hope to be recruited to fight in the battle.
Ooh.
You know that the army will take weeks to amass, and you hope that your magic skills will be needed to help your brethren in arms.
Okay.
You also have several cousins who live in the village of Lago.
Now, what do you do? You wipe the sweat from I can't spell for crap, scaly forehead and chip away at the rock. Oops. Pulling at the shackles that have bound you to your place. Okay. So we push do. Oops, hang on. So I must push. I haven't done this in a while. Right. So it'll put what I just typed in, and then it'll put another little bit after it. So I'll get it to say this.
You wipe the sweat from your scaly forehead and chip away at the rock, pulling at the shackles that have bound you to your place. It's been a long couple of weeks and the work is starting to get to you.
You pause. You always have to start with you, because the way that the AI works, it talks about you, your, like that kind of can't think of the word, vowels or consonants. I don't know. So not maybe grammar and spelling is shocking. So you just have to do everything with is you, your, things like that. Not I or he, she. Yeah. Anyway, you pause. Look down to the ground and think about all of your. I know that's your many cousins. Oops, have been who've been left behind Nad, and um, and what? I'm really struggling to think of something now. And a small tear to form in the corner. Oh my god, my typing is crap. Corner of your eye. Now, if my grammar is wrong in spelling, just don't kill me. Well, you know what I mean, but the AI doesn't care about grammar and spelling. So we're going to do this little bit. I haven't read it. I'm just going to let it read it out, and we're going to go
You
from there.
pause, look down to the ground and think about all of your many cousins who have been left behind, and a small tear begins to form in the corner of your eye. It seems to you that this is the least they could do after all the work you do for the family. You wipe your eye and pick up your chisel.
Okay, now if we push enter, it'll lead add more of the story. Okay.
You keep working in silence. After a few minutes, you hear a horn being blown outside the mine. You look up as dozens of miners rush out of the mine shaft dressed in leather and steel.
Ooh. So I'm going to say, you say, oh my lordy, what is going on? Okay, we're going to say that. Ooh.
You say, oh my lordy, what is going on? You never thought you'd see it, but the Kadarians are having almost as hard of a time fighting back the demons and monsters that have been plaguing the lands as the Empire.
Oh, okay. So maybe I shouldn't write you say. I just type what I say. Okay. So they're fighting the demons. So we're going to do jump out of your, your smelly hole that you came from and run up to the demons attacking the soldiers. Oh, I spelled that wrong. I can't spell. How do you spell soldier? Soldier? Yeah. Jump out of your smelly hole that you came from and run up to the demons attacking the soldiers. Okay, let's see what else say for that. Okay, what are we doing now?
You jump out of your smelly hole that you came from and run up to the demons attacking the soldiers. You jump into the fray, fighting with the abandon of youth.
Okay. Abandon of youth. Okay, let's expand more because I don't know what to put there. Alright. I have a blade now.
You swing your blade with wild abandon. Nothing matters but the fight.
Oops. Okay. Let's go on with this because I don't know. Let's expand on that. You found your purpose. Come on, give me even more story. No. Oh, here we go.
You've found your purpose. After a while, you look up and see that the battle has been won, but many soldiers lie dead in the grass. The demon horde has been defeated, but so too has your side. You limp over to a rock and sit down, looking around. Many of the men you fought with are dead or near death.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
You say, "Oh my God," the Cadarian commander, a knight who went by the name of Sir Breen, rides over to you. "Are you all right?" "Why ... yeah."
So I'm going to say, "How are you, kind sir?"
You say, "How are you, kind sir?" You say, "How are you, who I just saved?" Anyway, he laughs and says,
Says what? Yeah, sometimes the AI doesn't make much sense, so if I don't know what to write. Oh, okay.
"Not as important as most would think. I'm fine, though many others are not." "What do you mean?"
Okay, I'm a bit confused at the moment, so we'll just go on with the story. I don't know who's talking now, him or me, whatever.
"Many of my soldiers were riding horses that were too small for them. The equine creatures tend to go lame when Kira uses them, so it was a common practice to use smaller horses."
Well, why did they not use big horses? Oh, I can't spell. Yeah, it's just a lot of nonsense, but it's really funny. Like when you sort of get into the story, it gets really funny.
You say, "Well, why did they not use big horses?" He laughs and says, "You don't suppose these soldiers would be able to ride the horses they captured from the enemy, would they? The horse would probably be a giant compared to most of them."
I suppose they do look very small. Anyway.
You say, "I suppose they do look very small." Yes. I have just a man to ask. I'll go see what's happening at the stables." He throws his gauntlet out and rides off towards the stables.
Oh, I can't spell. I don't know if I'm doing this punctuation right. Anyway, we'll just go on with it.
Yell out. "But sir, what about your gauntlet?" He laughs and says, "Oh, this old thing. most likely just lost a few fingers due to frostbite. We'll ask for volunteers if it gets any more cold. He rides off and is soon out of sight.
Oh. You stand there alone. Oops. Surrounded by hundreds of thousands. Oh my god. I keep forgetting it's about soldier. S-O-L-D-I-E-R. You stand there alone, surrounded by hundreds of thousands of dead soldiers. The sheer mass of gets to you and you pass out and become... Is he still unconscious? No. Good thing we got spell check. Or autocorrect, whatever. I don't know. I know what that is, but anyway. I use it a lot. Okay. So this is what we're up to.
He rides off and is soon out of sight. You stand there alone, surrounded by hundreds of thousands of dead soldiers. The sheer mass of death gets to you and you pass out and become unconscious. You wake up in the morning and walk back over to where you were left. You find a note tied to a stick that was left by the Cadarian commander.
Okay, we'll go for more story, because I don't know what he's going to say for that.
You pick it up and read it. You look around for a while, but see no sign of your new friend.
Okay, let's go for more story. I thought the army was dead.
You decide to take your chances with the rest of the army.
Okay, I don't know what the AI's doing going with that. So just go for more story. I thought we were already... I thought we already killed the enemy.
After all, you're here to fight the enemy, not get drunk and stay in the barracks. Kedar has been taken. You have done your part well. Congratulations. You have rescued the Emperor's daughter.
Wow, that was quick. Okay, let's do more story, because obviously... Alright. Alright.
As thanks, he has promised you a small piece of land to rule over if you fight for the kingdom in the future. You will be given a small company of soldiers and whatever else you need to put down the enemy.
Okay, more story. Sorry, my voice is going funny.
You will also be able to keep any prisoners you take as well as the loot you acquire from the enemy. Your company will quickly grow to a size that will allow you to rule over part of it.
Well, that's a bit flash. The lizard man might like to rule over all the prisoners.
Capturing and training your own soldiers, you will earn a place for yourself and your nation. However, this is just the beginning. The king has hinted that there is much more for you to do.
Okay, now we're talking to the king. So I want to say, what more would you have me do, king? Oh, my lord. Question mark, not king. You would have said my lord.
You say, "What more would you have me do, my lord?" The king looks at you and says, "We have heard of your deeds in the past. You have proven your skill. Now prove your loyalty." He gives you a small nod. Go then. Help your company.
My company. Alright, so you bow to the king and exit the throne room. You make your way out of the castle and back to your company. Okay. Okay. Let's read this bit. Hang on. What's it doing that? Why does it do that? Hang on. Do you know what? It's not letting me select all that.
You bow to the king and exit the throne room. You make your way out of the castle and back to your company. You find them waiting for you, as they are now larger than your entire company before the war. You also find the Cadarian Royal Engineers standing by.
Okay. Well, fellas, you all have gotten larger since before the war. Okay. Okay, read this.
You say, "Well, fellas, you all have gotten larger since before the war." One of the engineers, a young girl with black hair and a black eye patch over her left eye, says,
What does she say?
"We have recruited more warriors, but they are still not enough to fill these large suits of armor."
Okay. We'll recruit. Oh, I can't spell. Oh.
You say, "Well, recruit more then, peasants, and just stuff them in." The engineer laughs and says, "Stuff them in? Sir, I did not join the king's engineering corps to be a fat man."
Oh, dear.
You say, "Listen here, sir, you will become fat and you will like it." The engineer and you begin to argue. Others just stand by and watch. The king puts a hand on both your shoulders and says,
What does he say?
"Hey, hey, hey. I know what you two are trying to do, and it will not work. Now we need you two to work together, not against each other."
Okay, do pull out sword and stab. Who is he? I'll stab the engineer in the heart, killing him on the spot.
You pull your sword and stab the engineer in the heart, killing him on the spot. The engineer stands motionless. You pick your sword up from his still beating heart and draw your sword. The other engineers back off in disgust.
Anyone else want to argue with me?
You say, "Anyone else want to argue with me?" There is silence. The king laughs and looks to the remaining engineers.
Okay. Don't want to fuck with me, man. I'll stab him in the heart.
Well, we will have to do something with them. Until they can be useful in some other way perhaps, the engineers are forced to leave the company.
Okay. Goodbye, engineers. I have no engineers in my company. Oh, the world event. Okay, what?
The Emperor of Kedar's daughter has gone missing. It is whispered that the king of Igadori kidnapped her and hopes to marry her to expand his land. The Black Emperor has been betrayed by his closest advisor. The great General Kresh killed the Emperor as he slept and stole his vast hoard of gold before disappearing into the hills.
Okay. Alright, so...
You and your companions, along with the engineers, set off back to the city. As you leave, you see an opportunity.
What is the opportunity? And they were forced to leave, but they must have come back because we set off with the engineers again. Okay.
You know the kingdom is in a state of panic. You could probably steal a lot while the kingdom's guards are distracted. Or you could just keep going south and try to reach the city of Nurha.
Anyway, I might leave it here because we're probably getting really long in the story and don't want to let the recording get too long. So, can I save this? I don't know. If I could save it, I will continue this story on after. If not, we'll start a whole new story. Yeah. So let me know what you think in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And check out this because it's pretty fun. And also on the Android version, you don't have to pick a world. It just sort of generates a story randomly. This is different on the interweb one. But anyway, so let me know what you guys think and Have a nice day, night, evening, whatever, and take it easy. All right, see ya.